Hello, magical friends, especially my magical patrons who make these interviews possible. Welcome to episode 77 of WZRD Radio. I'm your host, Witch Bess, and I'm so sorry this episode is late. It turns out they're not joking. Hogwarts really does mess up Muggle tech. But so their spouse managed some tricky tech surgery, and we're finally back. Let's get back in the groove with Giantess and King's Cross.
Harry Potter, the boy who lived, come to die.
That was King's Cross by Giantess. Time to get to the good stuff. My conversation with Lara of The Weirdos Are Out. Welcome to the show, Lara of The Weirdos Are Out.
Hi. Thank you for having me on. I'm very excited.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yay.
You've always been a very big, enthusiastic, and outspoken voice in the community. So I'm really looking forward to hearing some of your thoughts and perspectives and history.
Oh, yay. Cool. Thanks. I'm stoked.
Which, if you'll notice, was the perfect segue into your history with Wizard Rock.
That was beautiful. My history with Wizard Rock. I actually came to Wizard Rock very late. I heard one song back in 2007 when it was first premiering and stuff, but then I didn't discover more Wizard Rock until I started making YouTube videos around 2013 or so. And then ended up in the same spaces as because I was also doing some ukulele songs, so ended up in some same spaces with Lauren Fairweather, and that's how I kind of got my intro into Wizard Rock and stuff. And so that just immediately drew me in because I was always such a huge Harry Potter fan. And so I was just oh my God, people are making songs about this. Incredible. So, I think what's funny is my very first song was me being angry at J.K. Rowling for saying that she actually thinks Hermione and Harry should have ended up together instead of Ron and Hermione. And I'm just no, you were incorrect. And let me explain to you why through song. That was, and then just kind of went from there as far as started writing more and performing and uploading videos more and songs and whatnot, and just started making connections and with people, and the rest is history, I guess.
2013 means you were just in time for one of the big ebbs of Wizard Rock as the Alexes and Ministry of Magic. Did that enter your sphere at all? Did that affect your experience with the community? And
not in a Wizard Rock specific sense. I was very big into YouTube and all the YouTube stars and things like that. I went to VidCon several times during those couple years. And so I experienced it from that side of things, of more the YouTube community rather than YouTube and VidCon community, rather than specifically in the Wizard Rock community. But it hit me in the way of just oh, this is disappointing to hear about people that I watch on YouTube. But luckily, other than that, it just sort of was okay, well, shifting attentions elsewhere and let's go.
Well, that's really lucky.
Yeah.
Do you know what you said that your first song was arguing with JKR, which feels very on brand.
Oh, absolutely. And so it's full circle at this point.
I also know that you've been through a couple of band names.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about them and why the changes, why you chose them?
Yeah. So my original band name was Losing Lara, which came out of a little show that I did when I was in college. I worked at my college's TV news station. And so we would have I had a running sort of series that was called Losing Lara in Denver. And so I'd talk about different places in Denver and or different events that were coming up and stuff, and would go places like the local theme park and film there and stuff and talk about stuff there. And so when I graduated from college, I graduated with a degree in film and production. And so I unfortunately couldn't find a job. And that's right when I was getting into YouTube as well. And so I was okay, well, I'll just start making YouTube videos until I, find a job and stuff, like try and, like rationalize having like all this equipment and stuff for film and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, well, what should I call my YouTube channel? And it just sort of naturally became carried over from losing Lara. And so that was originally what it was. And I was like, well, I can do like a travel thing or whatever, where I go different places. And then quickly I realized that I don't travel enough to have a travel channel. And so I started figuratively getting lost in things, i.e. like we're getting lost in this topic today. And I realized I just did air quotes on a podcast. So no one can actually see that. But yeah, getting lost figuratively in different things. And then a lot of that became like, we're getting lost in music today. So here's a new song. And so, just continued being losing Lara for a bit. And then, I don't know, after a little while, I just sort of like grew out of that feeling and grew out of making YouTube videos. Like I just wasn't doing it as much anymore. Like I did manage to find like full-time work and whatnot, and just didn't have time and energy to film and edit and stuff like that. And so I kind of got to the point where I was just like, I don't think I'm losing Lara anymore. I don't think that fits who I am as a person. I don't think it fits what I do now. And so let's just sort of like change that up and kind of fit a little bit more of me now. And so my new band, The Weirdos Are Out, very much goes into one, my love for like all things spoopy and goth and Halloweeny and stuff, which so it's a quote from Hocus Pocus, where it's like, no, I don't want to go by myself, it's a full moon, the weirdos are out. Which, like, it's funny because that line is like coming off as like, oh, the weirdos are bad, but also like all the people that were considered weirdos who come out during a full moon were also people who were just sort of ostracized by society anyway. And so I felt like I related to kind of the weirdos a bit more than other people. Like it was also, I got diagnosed as autistic a few years ago. I've been diagnosed with ADHD since I was like a kid and stuff. And so like, I'm definitely one of the weirdos. So, took the name Weirdos Are Out, and that's what I've been repping for a little bit now.
I do love that name. It's super evocative.
Thanks. Feels right for Wizard Rock too. Like we're definitely kind of, we found a nice little pocket of community where we all were maybe felt a little weird outside of it, but then found these people and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, these are where the weirdos are. So I'm gonna hang out with them.
Yep, these are our weirdos. That comes up a lot.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you've been mentioning some of the bigger names. Like beforehand, we were talking about going to conventions, meeting Melissa Nelly, mm-hmm. being grouped together with Lauren Fairweather. And you've been in the scene for like a decade, which is wild.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, that I didn't realize that until you said that. Yep. Yes, I have.
So I bet you've got some great stories.
I mean, like, you very nicely sent me the questions beforehand, and I was looking at that one, and I'm just like, oh, like, what, like, specific stories do I have? And I mean, just, like, there's almost, like, nothing that I can really think of, like, specific, just because it's, like, every space is so different within Wizard Rock and stuff, but then also, like, the same at the same time. So I, just like, I think my favorite thing about like my favorite memories and stuff to come from like the Wizard Rock scene and things like that are like just sort of like going into these spaces and people immediately knowing your name and you immediately knowing their name because you already talked to them a lot online and stuff, and just sort of being able to skip that full first like awkward, what do I say, like small talk sort of thing, and just immediately just sort of like going in with conversation that you actually want to talk about. And so that's one of my favorite things about Wizard Rock in general, is just like everyone is immediately like, oh, it's you, I'm going to talk to you and stuff. And so it's really nice to be able to kind of skip that. But one of my favorite stories, I think, is from when I was performing, was from LeakyCon Denver last year. And I have a song about Molly and Arthur that I really love, like a ship song. And so I always introduce it like, this is a song about my favorite couple in the Harry Potter universe. And one person yelled out like, Drary, or another person yelled out like, Ginny and Luna. And I was like, no, oh no, sorry, it's canon. And I just hear one person go, oh. I was just like, well, it's about Molly and Arthur. And then I just hear probably the same person go, oh. Just like immediate disappointment with immediate approval. I was just like, that made me so happy. It was so funny. And it just like, it was one of the best feedback sort of things that I got from an audience. It was super fun.
That's incredible. I love that.
I mean, and I totally get it too. Like, I'm much more for the I have songs about like Sirius and Lupin and stuff. I'm much more for like the gay non-canon headcanon ships, but Molly and Arthur holds a special place for me.
That happens a lot. Like they're not, I haven't noticed, I mean, in my area corner of fandom, that Molly and Arthur are particularly focused on, but Wizard Rock, especially like the queer Wizard Rock, which is sort of redundant, they do sort of have a special place in everyone's heart.
Yeah, well, and like specifically I wrote that song for back when Tumblr was still, like popular. There was a whole group of Harry Potter role players, and so they had their own sort of community, just like Wizard Rock and stuff, and it was really fun. Like they would do collabs with each other, and it was all through like gifs and stuff, and it was just so much fun, and I had so much fun watching it. And they would do a lot either canon stuff or they would do headcanon stuff, and one of the headcanons was these two people did a young Molly and Arthur story. And I just thought it was so cute and adorable that it just inspired this song immediately. And I know they did see it because I of course posted it on Tumblr and tagged them. And the next day I woke up and they had like reblogged it and stuff. And we're just like, oh my God, it's so sweet and stuff. And I was just like, cool, thanks, glad you like it. But yeah, it was it's so much fun to see where inspiration comes from, like not only from original material, but through other fan communities other than like Wizard Rock itself.
Speaking of original material, my patrons were curious. Mm-hmm. As you've said, you are sort of the queen of spook. And my patrons are wondering if you were in charge of Halloween festivities a la Lockhart and Valentine's Day. How would it look? What would you do?
I mean, yeah, I was looking at this question and I was just like, oh man, that would be very fun. So for those that don't know, my birthday is on Halloween. So I actually probably would throw a giant party, but also I would probably throw it. Also, for people who don't know, I am queer. And so Halloween is gay Christmas. Like 100%. And so like I definitely think I would throw just like a giant costume party. People could come however they want and however they want to feel and be themselves that night. And I would make sure that like it was super, super like open and accepting of anybody and stuff, because like some people lately might not feel super welcome at Hogwarts and stuff, and so I would want to make sure all my queer friends, all my trans friends, all my LGBTQ friends are welcome and celebrated. Like I would probably bring in some drag queens and have a drag queen performance in the Great Hall and just like go absolutely bonkers and stuff with that. Like, let's change all the house colors to some rainbows and whatnot. But also, of course, still have the floating jack-o'-lantern, like, pumpkins. Basically, my aesthetic in life is Halloween and rainbows. Like, that's my entire wardrobe, my entire house, everything. So that's kind of how I would decorate everything, and just throw this huge party where everybody is welcome. Anybody who didn't feel like that couldn't come.
Now, historically, Halloween is also a time of crisis.
Yes.
Chamber of Secrets, Sirius Black, Troll in the Dungeon. So what sort of like contingency plans would you have in place?
Oh man. Honestly, probably what I would also do is I would hire Fred and George, the Wizarding Wheezes, the Wizarding Wheezes company, depending on when this took place, just to like set up a bunch of traps around the building just to make sure that nobody could mess up my very fun Halloween birthday party.
That would definitely also add a little bit of spook for any, students that were sneaking off.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lots of pranks and whatnot. Definitely the trick part of that. If you get through the tricks, you can come to the treat, which is my birthday party.
What would the cake be like? I assume there's cake.
Yes, of course. So it would be a chocolate raspberry cake because that is my favorite type of cake. But also I'd probably have like vegan and gluten-free options for other people as well. But I think it would be... Well, it would be bat themed because of all the Halloween stuff, bats are like my thing. I am a bat. My dog is a bat. She has giant bat ears and stuff. So like bats are my thing. So probably I would have like those little like folded bats, like that you can put on your walls. And they would just be like all around this like bluish purple sort of like couple tiered cake and stuff. But edible, and so like the bats would be edible and stuff, and so that's probably what it would look like. And actually, if we're gonna put magic into this, the colors are probably really like moving and stuff, so it actually looks like a night sky. Well, it's and the bats could probably like move around it too.
You had me up until the bats were moving. I'm not sure I could eat a bat that was moving.
I mean, that's fair.
I have to cut around those.
That's fair. Probably once you like cut it, like once you start cutting into the cake, everything stops moving. And then, it's not like...
It's a good compromise.
Yeah, it's not too uncomfortable. The charm drops as soon as the knife comes out.
Here's our next music break. I think I see Into the Pensive and Imperious When I Left You.
And wonder why you never flew my chimneys and you're out. Days go by, could have happened. You were closer than Miss Norris, Mr. Filch. But the hardest thing about it is that there's a space of time where nothing seemed to happen in my mind. I don't remember what I said, what I did to ever hurt you. I was imperious when I left you. I want you back. I wouldn't have said things I did. I wouldn't crucial your sister if my aquamancy lessons had done their job. I want you back. So surprised when you told me I incendiated your dress rose and killed your owl. So surprised that you left me. I didn't mean to snog your house up, I didn't mean to run away, but But the hardest thing about it is that there's a space of time where nothing seemed to happen in my mind. I don't remember what I said, what I did to ever hurt you. I wasn't curious when I left you. I want you back. I wouldn't have said things I did. I wouldn't cruciate your sister if my occlumency lessons had done their job. I want you back. But the hardest thing about it is that there's a space of time where nothing seemed to happen in my mind. I don't remember what I said, what I did to ever hurt you. I wasn't curious when I left you. I want you back. I wouldn't have said things I did. I wouldn't cruciate your sister if my occlumency lessons had done their job. I want you back. Came home around 7 or 8. There was dinner on the table, she already ate it. I said I'm sorry, murder, but all she did was moan. There once was a time when the moaning was hot, but after 7 years of marriage, I'm sorry it's not. She yelled and said, why weren't you home? I tried to hug her and apologize, but she flew into the toilet and started to cry. I told her that I was out late at work, 'cause we've been real busy and my boss is a jerk. She didn't even hear me, she didn't even care. I was drinking fire whiskey or having an affair. I used to love her and I swear I still do, but when we're out on a date, they shout this you know who. That's the price of being famous and she can't cope. We've gone to counseling, they say that there's no hope. We stick together just for the kids. Would you rather run off with the boy who lived? I said I'm sorry baby, forget what I said. Come out of the toilet and let's go to bed. But wait, it doesn't matter, 'cause you're already dead.
1, 2, 3, go.
Never marry Moaning Myrtle. Never marry Moaning Myrtle. Never marry Moaning Myrtle. Never marry, never marry, never marry, never marry Moaning Myrtle. Never marry Moaning Myrtle. Never, never, ever, ever, never, ever, marry Moaning Myrtle. Don't do it, don't do it. You probably end up getting a divorce. It's pretty bad, real bad. Yeah, I don't think about ever marrying Moaning Myrtle. Please don't marry Moaning Myrtle. I mean, she's not that bad, but still. Just don't do it.
Don't, it's stupid. She's a ghost.
Don't do it.
My mother is a harpies beater. She beats off bludgers. My father is a beater's spouse. He beats off bludgers. My sister is a beater's daughter. She beats off bludgers. My brother is a beater's son. He beats off.
I wanna be in Gryffindor, be brave and strong with the Sorting Hat, but I'd be better off in a Ravenclaw. Well, Harry Potter gets to choose, and why can't I? Everybody heard him say it. Ooh, maybe I should talk to Dumbledore. Ravenclaw's got it wrong. It's Gryffindor right along. Ravenclaw's got it wrong. It's Gryffindor right along.
That was Imperiest When I Left You by Into the Pensive. Come Out of the Toilet and Let's Go to Bed by Tom Riddle and Friends. Potter Watch with The Beater Song. And Colors in the Cauldron singing I'm a Ravenclaw, Gryffindor. So in the last couple of years, I know that you've branched out a lot with your fandom, especially into Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of D&D stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was Harry Potter your first fandom? Has your Wizard Rock background influenced and shaped your experiences with other fandoms?
Harry Potter definitely was like one of my first big fandoms. My dad read me the books, up to book 3, and then we started going to the midnight parties, and I would read them all in one night. But also, like, I didn't come into it so much as from my fandom point as much as other people. Like, I didn't really like realize that fan fiction was a thing or anything like that. But it was, I would say, my first like big special interest as far as like fun things or like books or movies or anything are concerned. And so, I would say like, in fact, I would even say like Halloween was really my first one, special interest. And then that sort of like bled into everything else. So like, I don't know if I would have liked Harry Potter so much or like been interested in Harry Potter as much if I wasn't already a big Halloween kid. But with Harry Potter and kind of going into like the community, because like, yeah, like Star Trek was like really the first big fandom to like start having like community meetups and things like that. But I feel like with Harry Potter, like it became so much more, and like it was not only available to adults to go like enjoy fan-based events and stuff, but really everybody. And so because there was a little bit for everybody. Like Star Trek is pretty like adult centered, just in like their characters and things like that. And so, yeah, it definitely like going into Wizard Rock and Harry Potter and stuff, that definitely got me into more nerdy things and going to conventions and things like that. And then Wizard Rock after that. And so, yeah, like going into these spaces and just being able to sort of like branch off with all my other interests is really nice. Like that's one thing that I love that LeakyCon is doing now, where like just, I mean, one, because like Harry Potter is a little uncomfortable for a lot of people right now. And so I like that I can still go to this place that I love with people, like where people that I love are there, and be able to sort of branch off into a lot of different interests. Like Lord of the Rings definitely became a huge interest for me, to the point where now that there's going to be Lord of the Rings guests at LeakyCon, I was like, I should write some Lord of the Rings songs. I haven't written any of those. And so yeah, it's like, it definitely, like, now that I'm part of the Wizard Rock community and have written songs and stuff, it definitely has changed how I approach other fandoms now, where I'm just like, could I write a song about this? Could I write a song about this one? Could I write a song about this one? And so it's kind of nice to be able to branch out not only in my music, so it sort of reflects also my fandom interests.
I've also been noticing a thoroughfare of Wizard Rock having come from Harry and the Potters, who were a very punk based band. That not only are we very DIY as a community, so many people have come in and told me how to make patches, how to do shirts, how they design their own buttons,
Mm-hmm.
recording on your phone in your bedroom. But it also has that strong, like, mutual aid and like sense of justice and rightness that comes
Mm-hmm.
from the punk community.
Mm-hmm.
Fandom forward, the trans rock comp, everything that the community does. Have you carried that as well?
Absolutely. I've definitely done a lot with Fandom Forward, and not as much as I would like to, but definitely, always try and join in on their campaigns. Like, I went to Granger Leadership Academy a couple of years ago. The thing that is so fun about Harry Potter is it really did teach a bunch of kids how to fight back against the system and stuff, which is so ironic. But yeah, just like it taught people not to hate. It taught people that hating people, a group of people, just because of how they're born is bad and not okay. And so that's one thing I absolutely love about this community and stuff. Like, I especially feel like the Wizard, like, in fact, one of the reasons why I still feel comfortable engaging in the Wizard Rock community is because everyone here is just like, no, this, like, what JK Rowling is doing is not okay. And we're gonna, like, one, maybe celebrate the things that we do love, but also make sure that people know that we don't approve of this and stuff. And so it makes it a really safe space for me, to be able to come into and talk to and know that everyone around me, even if we are singing about Harry Potter, I know that, like, well, I might be cis, I'm still very much part of the LGBT community, and they don't, my, like, don't hate me or don't hate my friends and stuff. And so it's really nice to have that in our community and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's sometimes when I go into fandom spaces and I see people dressed in like Harry Potter stuff, I'm wary and stuff. Like, it sucks, because it used to be like I would see somebody in Hogwarts robes and I'd be like, they're friend shaped. And now it's just kind of like, okay, but, like, where do you land on on these things? And so it's nice to be able to have the Wizard Rock community, have LeakyCon community, pretty much, in general. Like, it's more further reaching a little bit, but and then also like Fandom Forward and things, where I can go and, like, still celebrate something that was formative in my life, but know that just because it was formative doesn't mean that we can't talk about what's wrong. Um, and so, yeah, that's definitely something that, of course, I've been bringing into my music, that, like, Tonks and the Oars bring into their music. Like, so many people in the past few years have brought in, like, totally nuts, and things like that, and just been like, yeah, I'm still here, but not you.
My ringtone used to be Hedwig's theme,
Oh yeah.
and now it's Tonks and the R's Fandom Autonomous Zone.
Yes, amazing, fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
very much the energy shift, as you're saying.
Oh yeah. No, I very much feel like Harry Potter is so culturally saturated, and like so many people have said this. Harry Potter is so culturally saturated that it is hard to escape from. It's also, if especially if it's formative for you, it is hard to escape that with it inside yourself and stuff. Like I am the person that I am today because I read the Harry Potter books when I was a kid, and I'm not going to deny that, and I'm not going to try and erase that. But also, I know when it's time to take a new road, and so I'm very much a person where I'm like, if you want to celebrate this thing you love, that's great. Support independent creators, give your money to people who are not going to give it to like people who are going to hurt people and stuff. Like you want to celebrate this, awesome, but like do it in a way that is smart.
So that sounded an awful lot like advice, which is another
Oh, yeah.
excellent segue. What's your best advice for newcomers? There's a bit of an ebb in the community right now where people, don't want to be connected with Harry Potter or ashamed of it.
Mm-hmm.
For people who are still trying
Mm-hmm.
and, willing to make the effort, what kind of advice do you have?
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said about kind of the Wizard Rock community in itself, is that it is kind of branching out a little bit. So even like our Wizard Rock like Facebook group or something, I'm not on Discord a lot only because it stresses out autistic brain and I get overstimulated. But as at least on the Facebook group and stuff, there's so many Wizard Rockers who are doing different fandoms right now, but then still staying within the Wizard Rock community. And so I think that's maybe what we are sort of evolving towards, where we have this like nerdy community that was maybe based in Wizard Rock and stuff, but it is a little bit different now. There's a lot of different fandoms coming in and things like that, simply because of the culture and sort of environment of the last few years. And so I think best advice for newcomers coming in is like, one, there's so many people who are just like, what do you need? Like, what equipment do you need? And I think really coming from a person who is autistic, I would say the best advice I can give is coming into this community knowing that there are so many different feelings here about Wizard Rock and about what has happened, that the best way to come in is just being very open to what people have to say, to what feelings are going on and stuff, and just being open to hearing what everyone's feeling. And if you want to make specifically Harry Potter music, great. We are going to listen to it and be there for you and support you and cheer you on and stuff. But also, if you want to come in and be like, well, I liked other bands before, but I kind of want to make music based on like our flag means stuff. Or like I recently just watched The Owl House and I love it. And so now I'm obsessed. And so like, say it's on the top of my mind. So like, say you want to make music for The Owl House, like bring it. It's great and stuff. But like, just sort of like maybe recognize that this isn't necessarily as much of a very like Harry Potter focused place anymore and stuff, even if it is kind of like the roots from where we came from.
I've been hearing that from a few people lately, and as an exclusively Wizard Rock podcast, that does pain me.
I mean, yes, fair.
But you're not wrong that, branching out is exactly as supported in the community as
Absolutely.
sharing your feelings and experiences through the lens of a Weasley or a Malfoy.
Yeah, 100%. And like, yeah, I think a lot of people came into this the different ways people come into this have changed over the years. Like, very early on, everybody was like a, Neville and Longbottoms, Luna and Lovegoods and stuff. It was very perspective based, and it kind of went on a little bit to not being as perspective based, but still Harry Potter. And now I feel like it's kind of getting into we're kind of a little bit of everything, which is even better. Like, honestly, like, bring in the soup. It's great. But I think maybe like it's good for people to recognize that it's a soup. It's not like it's just like any other community where you're going to find a whole bunch of different people with a whole bunch of different opinions. And as long as you are welcoming and accepting of everybody, then we're going to cheer you on.
You had a brief moment mentioning equipment, and listeners will know I do really like to get like a practical thing, like voice exercises, recording advice, what you need for a performance, how to book things, just something that might help someone who's just starting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have there's of course the very general answer of like, just do it, whatever you have, like, it's fine, just do it, which is very true and stuff. But also, like, I feel like that's not super specific and helpful a lot of the times. It's like, so a few like very like specific tips that I can give is like, one, if you're going to record music, make sure that you have an enclosed space. Closets are great because there's a whole bunch of clothes and they help with acoustics and sound and everything. When you do that, turn off your air conditioning, turn off your heat because it will get picked up. And if you have pets, take off their collars. I didn't realize this one until I was like, maybe a couple years in, and I was recording and I was like, what is that sound? Like, I didn't use a jingling sound on this. And I realized it was because it was my cat jumping off the counter or something. And I was just like, oh. So yeah, if you have pets and they're going to be running around while you're recording, take off their collars unless you want ambient jingling noises during that. And also, as far as booking and stuff, like, just email people. Tell them your name, tell them the experience you have, send them an example of your music, and just wait to see who will respond, because somebody's going to want somebody to perform at their event, and it could be you.
That's perfect. The collar thing made me laugh because there's an old How Airplanes Fly song that I was listening to like with my headphones for an episode, and I realized you could hear his dog and his wife like in the background, which was such a fun Easter egg, but probably not what he intended.
Yeah, no, I definitely have a couple songs where I just like kept something in because it sounded fun in the moment of the song. Or like, there's definitely a song I did where at the very end, I think my dog was like acting up or something, or whining or wanting some sort of attention. And I just sort of turned around at the very end of recording and I just went, it's okay, baby. And it ended up working really well with like the tone of the song. And so I just kept that in. And so I was so like, it's kind of interesting to see what little sounds pop up. Or also you could do it on purpose, such as on my last EP that I did for like the holiday EP that I did, Hogwarts Therapist and I did the parody of Baby It's Cold Outside, and instead of going like Mrs. Norris, Filch's outside, there's Mrs. Norris or whatever. And so I recorded my cat meowing and put that in the song. So just depends. Like, yeah, you can find sounds that you need everywhere.
And now she's a star.
Exactly. She's super famous. I mean, she always thought she was, but now she really is.
So we've covered a lot of the creations that you have made in the past, including the YouTube channel and some of your music and the holiday album. What is the Weirdos Are Out working on now?
Yeah, I don't have anything specific at the moment and stuff. I think I'm much like this community and maybe the Harry Potter fandom in general. I'm trying to kind of figure out footing a little bit of like what I want to cover, what I want to do next and stuff. And so I have a lot of ideas. Like I said, I maybe want to write some Lord of the Rings music. I definitely want to keep going on Our Flag Means Death, and maybe seeing if I can, I have one song that I haven't, or two songs. I have a couple songs that I haven't recorded yet for Our Flag Means Death. And so I want to put those out. And so I think I ended up making the EP like very abruptly last November, because right after LeakyCon Denver, I was like very inspired, being around so many like other creatives and things like that. It was just like, I have all these ideas in my head now, and so let's get them down. So I have not been to a convention like that in a minute, or been a part of a like super creative like event like that in a little bit. And so I am hoping like one LeakyCon Chicago will help get those juices flowing a little bit. But then also, I want to start going to open mics a little bit. So, we'll see kind of what comes up here and there. But yeah, I have a couple songs that definitely they need recorded and be put out there. And we'll see when I might have time to do that with my life being the way it is. But yeah, it's a lot of like different bubbles are kind of flying around right now, and I just kind of gotta pick one and go with it.
We haven't mentioned it, but I have noticed that there is another creative outlet that you have been utilizing a lot, which is cross stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything going on with that right now?
I mean, I constantly, in fact, it's probably the reason why I haven't recorded music in a while, because that's been a lot of my focus. But yeah, like I'm constantly putting new patterns up on Etsy and whatnot. And so, and that is also very branching in fandoms, whether it's D&D or Halloween stuff, or I have a couple Harry Potter things on there. Yes, there is my the Wizard Rock one. If people want that, they might have to contact me, just because I couldn't afford to keep it on Etsy anymore, because like, just sales. But yes, I have a lot of stuff on there that if people like doing fiber art stuff, they can check out Bat Stitch Nerdy on on Etsy.
The last music break has arrived, bringing The End by Infusion of Wormwood.
But then Hagrid came one day. He is a wizard. He went to get a wand from Ollivander. And then an owl was named Hedwig. He is a wizard. He was made to be part of Gryffindor. dreamed before. But then he walked at the Dursleys' door into a world of wizarding. He is a wizard. He's gonna meet some friends, a girl and a boy, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. They all do magic. He was made to be part of Gryffindor. He was made to be part of Gryffindor. He was made to be part of Gryffindor. They are the trio we all know. Expecto Patronum. They are the trio we all know. Expecto Patronum. He was made to be part of Gryffindor.
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 Hogwarts is your home where you're not alone. All of your friends are there with you. Put all your ties on, the hat will sing a song, and pick the house that's right for you. He took the train in September to the School of Wizardry, where there are those moving pictures of knights and fat ladies. They say it's your fate to save us. Is it your fate to die? And soon you'll have to face him. All of the Horcruxes found. You must not tell lies. Time put out the lights. Strangers petrified. Message shows that time when Snape was in love, but she had a son who as you follow butterflies. Dumbledore's man, he said he found out he had all this wizard money. After 11 years of wondering life, you know who he came from nothing. As a baby, you fought him about a cutout he's running, and all the cars will fly with a magic button. Taking all his chances, he grew up, but Dobby tried to stall it. Switchy outpost at home, saving his life, he called it. I need a letter on my sweater, so Weasley be calling. Swish, Wingardium got a still flick. Watch the final Quidditch game, the king blocked the last shot. They all talk about you know who and who he fought, and souls he could have split. Get one of the souls with a sword. Oh no, Remora, yeah, it opens doors. Wizards fly away if you learn from Voldemort. Now it's Harry he wants, so you can go take that little piece of soul with you. Payphone, trying to find home. I died 6 to 4 for 2. I feel like the time's wrong. The Turners are all gone. I'm a Potter fan through and through. If Harry freaking Potter did exist, I would not be singing songs like this. I'd be at the burrow trying to knit a Weasley sweater for your Christmas list. Harry Potter's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone. If you're British, and I may not be a witch, but I will not be alone, 'cause Hogwarts is always there to welcome you home.
That was The End by Infusion of Wormwood, The Nifflers with Made to be a Gryffindor, and Weasley Sweaters singing Your Home. Thank you so much for talking with me today. I had a feeling this was going to be a lot of fun, and it really has been.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. I'm so excited. It was so nice to I feel like we haven't had super a lot of chance to talk face to face just because we live on different sides of the country. Yeah. And so it was very nice to be able to finally get to do that. Which, yes, for people, because it is a podcast, we're on video chat right now.
But we will be in the same place in a couple months, which
Yes.
leads into my final question, which is where can WCRD listeners find you?
Yeah. So yeah, I will be at LeakyCon. I don't know about any sort of performance if we'll have Wizard Rock Cafe. I mean, I'm sure we'll have our Wizard Rock Filking sort of circle one night, but they can at least come and hang out and stuff. I'm always good with making new friends. And then as far as digitally, yeah, you can find me. I'm usually the Weirdos Are Out. The Weirdos Are Out on most social media. I also have a link tree, so if you find me on one social media, you can find me on all of them. But yeah, no, we'll have a panel at LeakyCon.
Yes, so come and talk more about nerdy, specifically fiber arts.
Yes.
But, in general, just creating.
Yeah. Being creative through visual means.
And your Bandcamp, is that just The Weirdos Are Out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it should just be the Wizard. Oh my God, I keep saying the Wizards. I mean, and now I kind of like it. But anyway, The Weirdos Are Out. .bandcamp.com is where you can find all of my music.
If you heard a song today and thought, I could listen to that again, then go to the transcript at wzrdradiopod.com, follow the link, and buy a copy of your very own. It's the best way to support your favorite musician, and without our Wizard Rockers, we wouldn't be here. If you want discounts on WZRD merch, the inside scoop on everything that's coming up, and bonus gifts and episodes, then you want WZRD Radio's Patreon at patreon.com/WZRD It's just $2 Muggle a month, and also supports the Yes All Witches grant, as they give money and mentorship to queer and BIPOC Wizard Rockers. If you want to keep up with WZRD between episodes, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at WZRD Radio Pod. If you don't believe in social media, you can also comment on the transcript or email me at wzrdradiopod@gmail.com. And now, here's The Weirdos Are Out.
So this is my song, Molly and Arthur. We talked about it a little bit before, and it's just a very sweet song about two people falling in love. So I hope that you enjoy.